We know we have to have it. A lot of us survive because of creativity. And then we have those moments where we don't want to be creative, and yet creativity wants to take over you. And then that's when it all happens. Your mindset changes and you're going, how did I even get here? Unplug, because we will always say yes to creativity, totally uncut, because we all make mistakes, so turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. Too fast, way too fast. I can't believe that the July 4th super holiday is now in the history books. And like most holidays, those headlines, they've documented the monsters again. Those monsters that swiped innocence off the map. I think the reason why I chose to sleep in this morning was because I just didn't want to re-enter reality. Yet my dreams were just as brutal. The type that keep waking you up because the dreams felt so real. Where do you turn now? And for what reasons do these monsters continue to lash out? We can't become numb to these monsters, nor are we supposed to feed the monsters. Remember when we thought about the new normal? It's as if we were all going to step away from the bad times and live happily ever after. Not so much, right? How many times can we breathe in and slowly breathe out before we eventually pass out? Hey, it's Arroe. This is The Daily Mess, a chronological walk through an everyday world. I am a daily writer. Oh, my. You can go all the way back to September 11th, 2001, and all of the days that we experienced even before that. It's all documented. When there are tragic moments that happen in this nation and around the world, my writing instrument has got to speak. And it's got to be put in a language of learning and not necessarily protesting. We've got to be able to learn how to communicate with the monsters. But in order to introduce the monsters to the people, you have to know who the monster was. But more importantly, why. This is The Daily Mess. From where we stand, what do we see? What makes the question so interesting is that most of the time what we see are different things. Words are no different. What we post can be heartfelt and with purpose until someone writes their thoughts and it's received completely different. And the only thing you were trying to do was just convey a message. As a freeform thinker, I do a lot of that stream writing in the way of exposing what I see. Being in this present place, many times there's not a soft landing. It's like trying to take a photograph of something spectacular in the sky, and the smartphone, it doesn't capture it. Stream writing has its importance on the chapters that I live, but living with it and others isn't always what we both see. Maintaining harmony is always a good choice. Sadly, for some, that means disconnecting from what you see, which does what? It leads straight to silence. What does any of this mean? You go from talking about the monsters on July 4th, 2022 to where do we stand? What does it mean? The points of view, the experiences that we all go through, what we read in the headlines or on social media, what you see, what I see, we must agree that it's going to be different things. But it doesn't say, hey, you now have permission to create a battle. Because what you experience and what I experience, even though what we see is so differently, what we've got to do is learn how to somehow collaborate, to understand each other's sides of the story. We could sit here and talk about Roe versus Wade, but you know what that's going to do? That's going to create protest. We could talk about what the government is doing with inflation and what they're not doing with gas prices. We could talk about Russia and Ukraine. You see what's going on here? The more I bring up things that are going on around us, the more your anxiety goes, oh God, oh God, oh God. I'm willing to talk. Are you willing to talk? Or is your choice to walk? From where we stand, what do we see? What makes the question interesting is that most of the time, what we see are different things. Let's talk. I'm Arroe, and that's The Daily Mess.